Hello, welcome to Cards by Sandy. I'm Sandy Trower, and today we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be making cupcakes and we're going to ice them also. We're going to be using some of the new products in our annual catalog that just came out on June the 2nd. So, as you can tell, this color is Watermelon Wonder and Tip Top Taupe. Along with that, we'll be using our Sprinkles of Life Ronald McDonald stamp set. For every stamp set sold, a proceed goes to the Ronald McDonald House. So why don't we go ahead and get started and get to making those cupcakes. All the supplies that we're going to be using today can be found on my website along with all of the dimensions. The Sprinkles of Life stamp set. We'll be using the coordinating punch. It's one of our designer paper. It comes in a 6x6. It's called Cherry on Top. We've got Whisper White, the 4.5 by 3. Now that's going to be used for this section right here. A 5.25 inch long by 4 inch wide. Tip Top Taupe, 5.25 inches long by 4 inches wide. That'll be this outer layer. I've got a scrap piece of Tip Top Taupe that's going to be used for our cupcake. The Watermelon Wonder. This is 11 inches long by 4.25 inches wide, and you're going to score or fold at 5.5. I'll set that aside for right now. I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White, and we're going to be using it for this cupcake topping. 2 pieces of the designer paper that came out of the cherry on top. Okay, I'm going to take the Delightful Dijon, that's one of our new colors, and I'm going to stamp the image directly onto my designer series paper. Now, because I'm going to use a different ink, I'm going to use our Stampin' Up! Scrub. And there's a mist. This is a stamp cleaner. One side it will be wet and one side is dry. And it makes cleaning your stamps so fast and so much easier. So I'm just going to run it and then I'm drying it off. So I'll be using that quite a bit in the next few minutes. Our next image, we're going to be using the Watermelon Wonder. And I'm going to repeat, I'm just going to stamp the image directly onto my Whisper White cardstock. Again, I'm going to clean my stamp off, dry it off. Now using the punch, because I need to see where I'm stamping, I'm going to turn the punch over to where I can see where my image is at. I'll stamp the designer series paper that we stamped. I'm also going to use this piece and just punch it directly. We'll move that aside. So now I have my 3 toppings. I'm going to take the scrap sheet of paper here and using the Tip Top Taupe, we're going to stamp the cupcake onto this piece. Now we're going to have to do a little bit of fussy cutting. It's not much, so it's okay. Again, I'm going to clean my stamps off. If I don't, I'm bad about laying things on top of it. So I'm going to take the scissors, and now we're just going to cut as close to the edge that we can. Oh no, I'm weird when I'm cutting. I'm just cutting as close to the image that I can. Now I've left a little bit at the top because that's where the cupcake is going to go. So it won't really matter that I left a few pieces up there. while we're here, I'm going to go ahead where I don't lose all my pieces, and I'm going to take the cupcakes and using my snail, I'm going to attach each one onto the cupcake and then set them aside. We're now ready to start stamping our image for our border. You notice here I've got Happy Birthday and then I've got the candles on this side. So we're going to start using and alternating our colors. I've got the Bermuda Bay. Now just where I know where I want to stamp, because I want to stay as close to the edge that I can, I'm going to place my white down. Now you're saying, well, why didn't you just go ahead and tape that down? Well, just in case if I stamp a little too close and get the image onto the white, I wouldn't have ruined the whole card. So this sort of tells me where to get started at, and I'm going to use my Happy Birthday. And this just gave me the placement of where to start lining everything up. So I'm going to move that aside. I'm going to clean off these two and bring in the next color. I'm using again the Watermelon Wonder. This is one of our new in colors. I'm going to stamp my candles. And I forgot to a while ago, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp a candle on my Whisper White that's going to go on the inside. I'm now going to stamp Happy Birthday. And it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly lined up. That's the beauty of a homemade card. We'll bring in our Cucumber Crush. This is another one of our new colors. It's a bright green. It sort of reminds me, in a way, of the gumbo green. I'm going to stamp a candle over here. My Happy Birthday. Clean the stamps off. And now I've got to go back and add my third candle with the Bermuda Bay. Now we can clean those stamps off. Now that we've got all of our stamping done, we're going to take, and this was our 4.5 by 3, and we're going to tape it down. Now if you find that you're just a little too close, you can always trim this down to whatever size you need it to be. We'll go ahead and adhere this to the front of the card, and as you can tell, I've been playing, and these are my scrap sheets of paper, so you're going to find I use them multiple times. If I mess up, I save it, turn it over, and use it again. Same thing, we're going to put this to the inside. Now I'm going to use the Stampin' Dimensionals to put my cupcakes on with. I want them to pop up and add just a little dimension to the card. Now I'm not decorating my cupcakes until I've got them on here. Why? I'm using the Dazzling Diamond, and it's going to take a little bit of time to dry. So if I put these on here, then I can set the card aside till everything is finished drying. Now we're going to be using, these are our candy dots. And I'm going to decorate the top of this first cupcake. Now this was the one that we used just with the plain Designer Series paper. And I just like to add my sprinkles. These are my sprinkles, just like a cupcake. And I'm just picking different colors to put on there. Let's go with a darker blue, just to give it a little bit of color to it. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be decorating. Now, you can take, I could have taken Watermelon Wonder and stamped the same color ink onto the Watermelon Wonder and had a colored cupcake, but I just wanted to show you the alternate ways of decorating it. So what I'm going to do is use my Dazzling Diamond, and I'm just going over where the little lines are at. And when this dries, it'll give it a glittery, shiny look in the areas that I've applied this to. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other Designer Series paper. This is the one we stamped our image on. I'm going to add a few candy dots. Now I've already used up all my yellows, so I'm thinking, let's go, oops. We're just going to give him some bright colored. Now these candy dots, they have the little glue dot on them. Let's go with a, I just like to give it some totally different colors. Now you can also add a few more. We'll add some, so each cupcake's going to get sprinkles. We'll go with a little bit lighter colors on this next one. Pastel blue. And let's go with we'll keep with the light colored. Let's stick him over here. So hop on over to my website for the dimensions and all the supplies used. Now if I could only figure out how to get this card to smell like a cupcake.